Welcome all to this special edition. As you guys can see next to me, a giant in our community. And guys, before we get into it, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Gunning to Old Trafford, by the fans, for the fans. As you guys can see next to me, as we said, the legend seat, Ibi.
The legend
seat, the cool seat. And today we are none other than a giant of our community, a stalwart in our community, an inspiration in our community, none other than Uncle Muhammad Amin Dasoo, aka Uncle Baitullah, aka Matt Dasoo, and aka the Don of the Dasoos. Welcome. I'm going to pass you guys over to Ibi. Ibi, take us in, brother.
Thank you, everybody. Very excited today to be here with Uncle Baitullah. Actually, it's the first time I heard that Uncle Baitullah's name is Uncle Muhammad Amin. I didn't know that Uncle Baitullah. I didn't know that Uncle Baitullah. So, guys, when we started gunning to Old Trafford, we had a list of a few people's names that, we needed to have on the show. And Uncle Baitullah, your name was top of that list. So, glad to finally be doing it with you. And welcome to gunning to Old Trafford, Uncle Baitullah.
Thank you.
Guys, if you don't know, we did a segment with Dr. Barry Schmeiser. We did one with Uncle Yunus Chamda. But Uncle Baitullah even goes back further from a history perspective. And today we're going to try and unpack, some of that history and just get into his beloved club, Manchester United.
Oh, man, this is going to be absolutely amazing. Uncle Baitullah, you comfortable? You easy?
I'm comfortable.
You good?
Easy. I'm good.
And listen here, we gunning to Old Trafford with our magic carpet here, right? So awesome. Okay. So Ibi, Uncle Baitullah, just to get things started, you gave us a crazy year off camera, and you started supporting or started your footballing journey almost in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Take us through that. How were you introduced in your footballing career? How were you introduced to Manchester United? I mean, 1950, that is crazy.
I used to go to the CNA and I used to order the comics that used to come from England.
Wow.
When I got this, there was a segment there. It was called Roy of the Rovers. So from that time, I put two and two together to say that this is all about Manchester United.
Yeah.
And from that time, I started supporting Manchester United.
Wow.
That was my start to support Manchester United.
That's amazing. And guys, that was from when Uncle Baitullah was 6 years old. And that takes us back to the early 50s, 1952. That's amazing.
Roy of the Rovers, guys.
Roy of the
small
Rovers.
guys, get on to Google Roy of the Rovers. This is legendary stuff. So we are brilliant stuff.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. Uncle Baitullah, obviously, starting to support in the 50s, I don't think there was much, broadcasted games in South Africa.
Yeah.
But that was the start of, the 50s going into, the middle to late 50s, the Busby Babes.
Yeah.
So you were watching or listening into the Busby Babes from that era.
They used to broadcast the commentary.
Yeah.
So I used to listen to the commentary, when the game was on. So they used to give you live commentary. That time we had no TVs or anything to see. So that's how I used to watch, listen to the commentary.
That's amazing. So Uncle Baitullah, from your perspective, that team was really, really good. We had the likes of Duncan Edwards, Billy Folks, all in the Busby Babes leading up. What were your thoughts on Duncan Edwards, just listening on him? Because I heard, and Dr. Barry Schmeiser said it himself, that if Duncan Edwards, survived or was not part of the plane crash, he probably would have taken the place of Bobby Moore in the England team.
Definitely. You would have definitely taken.
Yeah,
Yes,
Bobby
yeah,
Moore's team.
yeah.
But what's your thoughts on Duncan Edwards? Did you, as a youngster, listening to him, did it inspire you to love football?
More than that, really.
Wow.
Always listening to him, it was amazing, I mean, you were not born, he was not born.
Not even a thought.
And, when the game is on, everybody are glued to the radio, to listen to the commentary. You
Wow,
know?
that's amazing.
You know, and Uncle, just a quick thought that came, Uncle Baitullah. And big up also to Uncle Yunus Chamra, and he told us about how you guys, like you said, with the radio, and how you guys used to come here at our Lighty supermarket and get the scores. Amazing days, man.
Yeah.
Amazing
But
days.
you know, it really, you could never believe that, that time, as young as we were, we were so fanatic about football and Man United.
And let me tell you how we got introduced to football is through the likes of Uncle Baitullah,
Definitely.
Uncle
Definitely.
Mohsin, Masood. And that passion obviously flowed through from the 50s into the 70s, 80s, 90s, and we need to carry on that, that energy into the 2000s and 2020s.
So, quick one, right? So, Duncan Edwards, and as an Arsenal supporter, Uncle Baitullah, I hear so much about Duncan Edwards, and you just reassured it that Duncan Edwards was great, right? But let's go a little bit sad moment of Manchester United, the Munich crash. We want to get your take, Uncle Baitullah. Where were you? What was your emotions as a supporter? And these were the Busby Babes, It must have been an emotional roller coaster for you.
Very emotional, that to see the whole team sort of just disappeared,
In a second.
Just disappeared,
Wow.
And very, very, how I actually mourned that, that so many great players, were just wiped out.
What I read before is that, if that team were carried on playing football, if the disaster didn't happen, they would have probably dominated not only English football, but European football as well.
Definitely.
And similar to how Madrid went on and won 5, European Cups in a row, that Manchester United team with Duncan Edwards and Samet Busby, Bobby Charlton, would have gone on to win many, many titles.
Yeah, that
Amazing stuff.
Wow.
So Uncle Baitullah, obviously that happens, the Munich disaster, and you lose basically, almost a full team. You got a few survivors, but it's never the same. But in a short space of 10 years, Manchester United go from, losing their team in the Munich disaster and then going on to win the European Cup and having 3 Ballon d'Or winners in a row. You had Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law, and George Best, all winning the Ballon d'Or in the lead up to that 68 win. What was the emotions, that roller coaster, mourning the loss of such a great team, then seeing these great players and reviving that club and going on to win all of these amazing titles?
When that team was wiped out, I never ever thought that, they'll come back so strongly. Really never ever thought that they'll come back so strongly, And it was amazing,
Oh, that's amazing.
That they came back so strongly.
And also shows the mentality of Matt Busby, Sir Matt Busby, to be able to, put that behind him. Because it's a really emotional thing. And he blamed himself for a long time, because obviously he forced the FA to allow Manchester United to play in the European Cup, and he blamed himself for a lot of that. So, to have the mentality to come and rebuild a new squad, and that shows the similarities between him and Sir Alex Ferguson as well,
And just to also add, Uncle Baitullah Ibrahim, just the foundation of a Manchester United football club, their roots, and the passion, man. Clubs like these here, the Arsenal, the Liverpool, Manchester United, they have strong foundations. So after such a tragedy, turning around the corner was even immense.
Really, it was amazing to see how they bounced back.
That's amazing.
Because you never know that your whole team is wiped out, and then all of a sudden, you're starting to
build from scratch almost, 100%.
Yes, amazing stuff.
And then another roller coaster, Uncle Baitullah. So this team goes on, they win the league title, after many years. They win the European Cup. We got all of these Ballon d'Or winners. But like we're seeing with Cristiano Ronaldo now, age catches up with everyone. Mm-hmm. And these superstars start to wane in their powers, And United going into the 70s then start a decline again. we get relegated, we bounce back up. Your thoughts as a supporter, as a young supporter, obviously now, in your 20s now, starting off at 6 years old, now in your 20s, looking at this team going from disaster to winning the greatest things in football to coming down to relegation. How's that roller coaster, and how are your friends at the time, in school, in your mid-20s, reacting to you, rival fans, etc.?
I will tell you, my brother is a big Liverpool supporter.
Okay.
And he thought that, now they will never ever, United will never ever bounce back to what they were, But then I always told him, that we never say die,
True that.
We will always
Carry on pushing.
carry on pushing.
100%. That's amazing.
It's brilliant.
But how do you deal with the relegation as a fan? Because, today, we as this modern fans, we're seeing Manchester United not winning, and we're feeling it tough. But the relegation, Uncle Baitullah?
I was very, very sad, that, being relegated, It was like unheard of that United, with such a great team and then being relegated. But they really bounced back and really, really built themselves up.
And did you expect them to bounce back immediately, or did you think,
at first I thought, it will take them a bit of time, to really build up, really, really build up,
Yes.
That's amazing.
Guys,
what a roller-
it's already a roller coaster. I don't even want to be Uncle Baitullah that went through all of it, but amazing stuff.
And this is even before Ferguson came.
This is even before Ferguson. Wow. So yeah, man. Evie, I'm going to bring this one in.
Yeah, you have to, Abdul.
So, Uncle Baitullah and Ron Atkinson, Coach Ron Atkinson. Give us your view on Ron Atkinson, and Ibrahim's going to bring you in. Ron Atkinson's main. I mean, he brought someone special into Manchester United. But before we bring that in, what was your take on Ron Atkinson, the coach?
I never thought that he will, really coach them and bring them to where they were. Really, to me, it was like an unbelievable thing that, he brought them to that standard again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
To that standard again.
Yeah, because under Ron Atkinson, really good cup team.
Yeah.
They challenged for the league title, but faltered towards the end.
Yeah.
But I think one of the best things that Ron Atkinson did for Manchester United was bring with him from West Brom a certain Brian Robson.
Oh yes.
Uncle Baitullah,
Unbelievable.
a young Brian Robson. How do you describe a young Brian Robson, Uncle Baitullah?
He was amazing. Really, you would never have thought, that a player of that class, young player like that will come. But he knew the talent he had, so that's why he brought him in.
And also, I know, Dr. Barry said, there was a big drinking culture at Manchester United. And Brian Robson was part of it. And Ferguson tried to rid it, but he kept Brian Robson because he knew what a mercurial player Brian Robson was. And he was pivotal to Ferguson getting that first league title, that FA Cup, and then their first league title, etc.
Definitely. And he was like the engine room. He was like the engine room. Brian Robson, really.
16 valve.
A 16 valve.
Doc Kumalo.
16 valve.
I think like a Doc Kumalo, but probably 10 times enhanced,
Brilliant. Brian Robson. So, Uncle Baitullah, moving along now. 1986.
Before we get to 1986,
Okay.
Uncle Baitullah, off camera you told us you were at the 85 FA Cup final with Everton.
Everton.
How was that game, Uncle Baitullah? And how's the emotions?
It was amazing to be there in the first place, to see them live. I mean, you used to listen on the radio to them, but that time now TV came on, but to be live in that stadium was amazing.
And was it Wembley, right, Uncle Baitullah?
And it so happened that we had seats very near the royal box.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
Very near the royal box, you know. And when he scored the goal, you know, it was like he ran in right
front
where
of
we
you.
were sitting, right into the
Yes.
corner, and then put the ball into the net.
that's amazing.
Man. Oh, man.
What a, and Uncle Baitullah, was it your first game live?
First game live.
So very much similarities between you and I, Uncle Baitullah. My first game live, FA Cup final, Manchester United versus Crystal Palace at Wembley as well. Obviously
Something
not
that-
close to the Royal Box,
Yeah,
but amazing
But you were there.
experience.
Amazing. Guys, just quickly before we move on, Ibi, I just have to say, sitting, I wish all of you guys could come and sit with us. I'm getting goosebumps
Yeah.
sitting next to Uncle Baitullah, the passion, guys. And this is what coming to Old Trafford is all about. Getting
100%.
these memories. These are memories that we want to keep and share to the world.
100%.
So yeah. 85 Everton, so yeah, that's mesmerizing. In the Royal Box.
And a strong Everton team, huh?
Yeah.
Everton in the 80s
Yeah,
were a really,
yeah,
really
strong.
strong team.
Very
Strong,
well, he
strong.
said. So
And
just-
then as I say, my day was made when we went. I went to Old Trafford.
So you went from Wembley
We
to
were
Old
from there-
Trafford,
yeah, the
London
next
to
day.
Manchester.
The next day.
That's
gunning
amazing.
to, you were gunning to Old Trafford.
Yeah. And I wanted to buy my kids, the kids and all that, And then I asked the guy there that, I come all the way from South Africa. I was at the final, and I want to see.
The stadium.
See the stadium,
Yes.
And so he said, look, they haven't got the tour. And just then, I saw all the players.
Oh
That's
my.
amazing.
Oh my.
What, guys,
Yes.
this is not just any players. You're seeing the likes of
Yeah.
Brian Robson,
All of them, they were flying, they were taking them on a holiday to the Caribbean,
Oh, nice.
So just that I went there, and then I spoke to Gary Bailey.
Guys.
Bailey.
Yeah, and I told him, je verstaan niet Afrikaans niet. En weet je kan Afrikaans praten.
Nice
Then
one.
I told him that I saw you playing for Wits University.
Oh, man.
Oh,
You used to
brilliant.
play in the local league for Wits University.
Yes.
That's
I used to
amazing.
see you play for them.
He must have been so excited and shocked.
He was shocked. He was shocked.
There's
He was
a common thread with Dr. Berry, now Uncle
Yeah.
Baitullah, that all of them, their link into Manchester United is Gary Bailey.
Gary Bailey.
So big up to Gary Bailey. One of the best presenters
Yeah, no,
for
brilliant.
Supersport
He was
ever.
amazing.
He's now in the States.
Remember him and Terry Payne.
Terry Payne, Southampton.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Those Wednesday night matches, in the Premiership. Hey, we listen to Terry Payne, Gary Payne. Oh, man.
That's
Brilliant days,
amazing.
brilliant days.
Just on that, Uncle Baitullah is saying that, he spoke to him in Afrikaans. Another friend of ours, and we're going to get him onto the show, hopefully. He went for the Liverpool Real Madrid Champions League final in Paris.
Yes.
And the reason why the Afrikaans comment hits up is he was in the crowd, and next minute he saw Bruce Grobbelaar.
How Brucey.
So to get Bruce's attention, he spoke to him in Afrikaans. And Bruce then went and called him out of the crowd. And so, Afrikaans, catches the
takes
players.
us out there, man. Yeah. The ball is rond, man.
The ball is
rond. Yes, it's brilliant stuff, man. So yeah, moving along. Right now, Uncle Baitullah, this is a question which we're going to try and compare to today's world of socials. 86 comes, am I correct,
Yeah.
right? We get Sir Alex Ferguson. That time Alex Ferguson
Coming from Aberdeen.
from Aberdeen struggles the first 4 years. Now, we know great clubs, when you give these managers time, they flourish.
Like Arteta.
Like Atkinson, like Arsene Wenger. However, struggling for those 4 years, in today's time, with the social media and the jibes coming from the
Pundits,
pundits
from
and stuff like
fans.
that, do you think Alex Ferguson survives those 4 years?
you know, at first I really thought, you know, he won't
make it.
last there.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
But I think he did an amazing job.
Yes.
Amazing job. He was very strict on the players, you know. He kept tabs on the players, you know.
Brilliant.
He wanted no nonsense, and especially the younger players, you know. He used to keep tabs on them, you know.
Wow.
Where they go out, what they do. He got them
Partying.
partying.
Yeah.
He got them partying. So the only one toward the end of his career, the one thing I didn't like is he didn't freshen up
The squad.
the squad.
Okay.
You know, he kept on getting on with the older players, you know.
To try and get the title.
Yeah. He kept on going. He didn't freshen up. That was my only ear about him, you know, that he didn't freshen up.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know, because you saw all these players, they were now old, you know.
Yeah.
They were
Yes.
old, you know. So you had to freshen up, get younger guys to come in.
I think there were two mistakes there.
Yeah.
One, not freshening up the squad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
two, not going for Pep Guardiola when he was available and choosing David Moyes.
True that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a tough one.
That
I
was
think
a
that was
tough
two
one.
big
That was-
And
mistakes.
that was a disaster.
That was a
David
disaster.
Moyes.
100%. But
Because
okay,
he told, Ferguson told him that all the structure is there.
You just
You
need
know,
to
you
now.
just need to go. But he wanted it his way.
Yes.
And then he messed
He messed
United.
everything.
No, I mean a foundation, Sir Alex Ferguson, and a great, as you guys can have witnessed, from all the guests, the thread is simple. A great, one of the greatest men managerial or men managers. I mean, amazing to his players. Really got the best out of his players. And yeah, brilliant stuff.
100%. Uncle Baitullah, we got
Mustn't forget about the hair dryer.
the hair dryer treatment, of course. I think that was pivotal to his success, right? The hair dryer treatment. Because no player was bigger than the club under Ferguson, which is amazing. But Uncle
I will
Baitullah,
tell you one league game.
yeah.
We were in Durban. We actually went to a wedding, and we were staying at the Royal Hotel. And Masood was still small. He was with me, and I was in the shower, and Bruce scored with a header, the winning goal, and Masood came screaming. I'm glad he didn't put a towel around me. I ran out.
That's
You know,
amazing. Because the emotions and the excitement.
Bruce just got there and Masood screamed, you know. And I just ran out.
That's amazing stuff, man.
It's Masood with his tricks, man.
Yes,
He's from
Masood,
young
yes.
Uncle Baitullah. Masood had tricks, man.
He's not
Screaming here and all of that.
Yes.
But Uncle Baitullah, we're going to take you now a little bit back and a little bit forward. 98, 97, 98, Arsene Wenger comes to Arsenal. Great manager, but coming from Japan, not very known. So Sir Alex Ferguson says Arsene who in the media. And I think that spurred Arsene Wenger to go on and win the league title in 98.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
United then the next season go on to win the treble.
So Alex Ferguson was very upset.
Do you think Ferguson took it personal that a coach that he didn't know won the league?
Definitely. Definitely. No, because, you know, I never liked him, Arsene Wenger. You know, really. I never liked him.
Okay,
you know,
it's fine.
he
It's
was,
fine.
he
We
was
forgive you,
there,
Uncle Baitullah.
Yeah. And you know, they in the tunnel when they were playing and when they gave them that 4 or 5, you know, that game. You know,
Yes.
when they gave them, you know, they
4-2 at the-
Roy Keane and them, you know, how they were in the tunnel.
100% at Highbury. Roy Keane Vieira, what a
It was a
moment.
brilliant one. You know, I remember just a small joke. Remember that cell phone thing came out, man. Eita,
Yeah.
right? And I'll never forget. I was actually in tears. I forgot the year, but United gave Arsenal 8-2.
Oh, yes.
And the meme was Ita. I had to go and get a subtitle. I had an Ita subtitle. We got an 8-2, man.
You know, a certain Ashley Young scored two beautiful goals
man.
that game.
Ashley Young still at Aston Villa.
Still at Villa.
A stalwart that guy, man. So brilliant. So you say Arsene Wenger winning 98 made Sir Alex Ferguson so upset. He went in, he clapped everybody and he got a treble.
And he did what no other team, English team, has done since. A treble. You know, they all made it seem like it was so easy. This Liverpool team, claimed they were going for 5, ended up with 2 small cups.
Yeah. I even told my brother, that to win the treble, then you come talk.
Then you come talk.
100%.
Come talk.
Guys, you heard it straight from Uncle Baitullah.
Done.
All you rival fans, the day you win a treble, then you're allowed to come to the table and have a discussion with Manchester United fans. Yeah.
That's true.
With that run, they were going to. They beat all of them.
But
they beat Liverpool. They beat everybody.
Uncle Baitullah, you know why?
They beat Man City also.
Coming to Old Trafford, we call Ateta. We said Ateta,
take it easy.
give Ten Hag the points. I'm joking. No, the only team to give Arsenal last season. That's so true.
So Uncle Baitullah is saying actually, Arsenal,
United can-
don't only think what's happening with City.
Yeah.
Worry about United's
United
league
is
training
coming.
pass.
And let me tell you, Ten Hag, and I just need to drop this as well. Myself and Ibrahim have been focusing on Ten Hag's managerial journey, and he's brilliant. I think he's the man for the job. I really do.
Just give him another year or so.
I think so. Thank
Just give him another year or so. He'll recruit other players, who he thinks he needs to strengthen,
Yeah.
But as you can see, he's a thinking manager.
Yes.
Disciplinarian as well.
He didn't take nonsense from Ronaldo. He didn't take the nonsense from Ronaldo.
100%.
Ronaldo wanted to rule the team. That he is the boss. The Ten Hag put him in his place.
100%.
Ten Hag.
And as much as I love Cristiano Ronaldo,
No, I also loved
think-
him from the time he came in.
But no player should be bigger than the manager at the club. No player
And I
should be
mean, I
bigger than
think
the
that
club.
was Alex Ferguson's rule.
100%.
If you're not good for the club, out the front door.
And I mean, Sir Alex let big players go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Hughes,
Yeah.
Paul Ince,
Yes.
David Beckham,
Yeah.
Stam, Veron. I mean, the list, Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
He let Ronaldo go also in the peak of his powers,
If you're not good for the team, chase 8 booty.
I mean,
So, yeah,
the list goes on.
Shoo.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Abdul, you're going to jump into the next one.
Yeah, so...
Uncle Baitullah, now that Abdul touched on Ten Hag, one of the things that all us United fans hate is the Glazers.
Yes.
They've been a parasite to Manchester United. But with the news of them selling, do you think the club is really up for sale? Or are they using it just to drive their share price up and make more money out of Manchester United? Or do you think, we are going to see a sale?
I definitely think there is a sale. There are two people that want to really put in an offer. Because those Glazers were only after money.
Exactly.
They just made money out of United,
Never used a cent of their own.
They never wanted to spend money.
Exactly.
To strengthen the team, and that they didn't want to spend the money.
Their own money.
100%. Yeah, they actually made money from United.
Yes.
They actually made money from United.
And not small money.
Yeah, big
Huge
time.
money.
They didn't take a single cent of their own money to buy Manchester
How
United.
cool, man.
They bought it on a loan.
Yeah.
They still haven't paid that loan, Uncle Baitullah.
Yeah.
And they haven't spent any of their money to strengthen the team.
And
It's all
that
United's
guy
net
from-
revenue.
That guy from England, who is
Radcliffe.
He's really interested. I mean, he's got wealth like you can't believe.
Yeah.
And he will, if he buys it, he's going to take the club to another level. Another level.
Sir Jim
Definitely.
Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Ineos, I think.
Because
it is.
then the manager can tell him, look, I need to strengthen my team.
Yes.
He's not going to have problem.
You're going to get
100%.
what you want.
You can
So guys, you heard it here. Uncle Baitullah is firm. Glazers out. So let's hope this happens soon.
So yeah, Ibi, just a quick one, guys. Don't forget this was an amazing one. However, there's a big one coming too. Uncle Baitullah's Manchester United top 11.
100%.
So stay in touch, in tune and independent, like John Robbie used to say. You remember John Robbie? So yeah, man. Ibi, anything that I've missed out, Ibi, you can go for it, Uncle Baitullah.
Yeah.
This was absolutely
Yeah, just two quick questions, Uncle Baitullah.
Yes,
and we're going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
We're going to do two great players and then one maybe, that will hurt you, because of Ronaldo. But if
okay,
you
I
had
want
to
to do the
choose...
second one.
Okay.
Because I have something good about the second
Uncle
one.
Baitullah, you watch Bobby Charlton and now obviously Sir Bobby Charlton as a youngster going through Manchester United's ranks, breaking all records at the club. But then a certain Wayne Rooney was bought from Everton and went on to break Sir Bobby Charlton's all-time Manchester United goal-scoring record. If you had to choose between the two, Sir Bobby Charlton or Wayne Rooney, who you backing?
Look, in the old days, I mean, Bobby Charlton was... Sir Bobby was, Rooney came afterwards. You know?
100%.
But Bobby Charlton was something else.
Immense.
Something else.
And also a part of that 1966 England World Cup winning team. Influential in the team.
World Cup winner. Yes,
So, brilliant.
So brilliant. So, Uncle Baitullah, one afternoon, Friday afternoon, rainy afternoon, didn't have anything to do, and I put on George Best, the documentary. And as this documentary starts, Ibrahim, Ibrahim has been, he's a problem, this guy, because I'm starting to love Manchester United and it's a problem. Right? So, and the first words that come on the screen, George Best was a diamond. Right? So this is my question to you. You had the Wayne Rooney, Bobby Charlton, George Best, Cristiano Ronaldo. Tough one.
I really admire George Best. To me, I think as a winger, he was something else. I
was listening to TalkSport yesterday. Simon Jordan.
Yeah.
He was the ex-chairman of Crystal Palace, I think it was. And he said, in this whole Messi-Ronaldo debate, he chose Cristiano Ronaldo over Messi, right? Because of his technical ability and all of that. But he says, if things turned out a little bit differently for George Best, he believes that George Best could have been the greatest footballer to ever play the game.
Wow. You know how I admired him, man. Yes.
So now, Uncle Baitullah, we have a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Ibrahim Chunara.
Yeah.
Please show us what skipper you're wearing in honor of Uncle Muhammad Amin Dasoo, aka the Don of the Dasoos. This is for you, Uncle Baitullah.
And what is so special? This
Look
is a remake of the 68 European Cup winners.
Turn around.
European Championship.
Best.
George Best, number 7. All the way, Uncle
Man.
Baitullah, just for you.
Amazing stuff. Wow.
Brilliant. Jazakallah, Uncle Baitullah. That was amazing discussion. Anything you'd like to add, Uncle Baitullah, before we wrap up the session and get into our second segment, Uncle Baitullah's all-time 11. Don't forget about that.
That's crazy.
Any last words, Uncle Baitullah, on this segment?
No, it was just amazing to sit and talk, about such a great team.
100%.
Uncle Baitullah, you don't want to know what you have done for us. What you have done for the upcoming community, the development of football, understanding your stories out there. And this was absolutely amazing.
And just remember, when you win the treble, you got a ticket to the table.
Yes.
Until then, get back into your box.
You just sit down here.
That goes back to you as well.
Yeah, but it's fine. But listen here, I'm also a United supporter. So all of you guys go sit down. So Uncle Baitullah, it was absolutely amazing. Guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. We have amazing things happening on Instagram. And like we said before, this is by the fans, for the fans.
100%.
You can take us out.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, a special guest in the Legends Corner today, Uncle Muhammad Amin Dasoo, Uncle Baitullah. Something I learned today.
Amazing.
It's been an honor having him on the channel.
Yeah.
But it's not only one segment. We're going to shoot another one, so I'm super excited. So looking forward to that. Don't forget, like Abdul said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and share our content so that this goes out and people start understanding the history and the stories. You know, otherwise these type stories get lost.
Yeah, go on.
And you know, it's out of there. So now we've got it documented, recorded. Uncle Baitullah, it will be there forever. You know, so
Uncle
amazing
Baitullah,
stuff.
this is what we do when we end it, and you're going to do it with us, right? And we got the magic carpet here.
Yeah.
So today it's even easier. We just jump on a magic carpet and we move. So on 3, 2, 1, we're going to go gunning to Old Trafford. You good? Yippee, you good?
Good.
And 3, 2, 1. We are
Gunning to Old Trafford.
gunning to Old
Thank you, guys.
Trafford. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.